Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to this channel and you're interested in becoming a model, you definitely want to subscribe because I make some of the best videos that you guys are going to see on the modeling industry. So a lot of you guys have actually sent me an email or maybe left a comment on a previous video about what should a model eat in a day, right? Like, what is the ideal diet for a model? So rather than like actually going through what I eat in a day, because honestly, like a lot of the videos that you guys are going to see online about, hey, this is what a model eats in a day, most of them are going to be BS anyway, right? So rather than focusing on what a model should eat in a day, I'm actually going to flip that around and focus on some foods that you guys should avoid as a model, and I'm going to break it down to you as to why you need to avoid those. All right, guys, so a lot of models, when you ask them like, oh, what do you eat in a day as a model? A lot of people are going to BS anyway, right? They're going to tell you like, oh, I eat salads or I eat fruits or juices and a lot of vegetables. Like, that's great. You know, you could do that for a short period of time, but no one's going to keep up with that for a prolonged period of time unless you're a vegan or something and, you know, you have no choice but to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? And of course, it's always great and it's always encouraged to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Eat your salads, drink a lot of water. It doesn't matter if you're a model or not a model. This is just something that's encouraged for a healthy, balanced diet, right? But let's be real, you know, depending on where you live, there's a lot of delicious cuisines out there. We can't always stick to a strict diet. Sometimes we tend to slack off, and that's okay. So in this video, I'm actually going to break down some foods that you guys should avoid and give you the reasons as to why you need to avoid them. All right, so the number one thing that models should limit as much as possible is sugar. Now, sugar comes in form of soda, energy drinks, candy, artificial juices, condiments like ketchup and barbecue sauce, and some pastries, honestly, right? Now, there's a lot of reasons why sugar is bad for you, right? Obviously, you guys know the impacts sugar has on the brain, the role that it plays in diabetes, weight management, etc. But specifically for models, right? One, sugar is bad for your skin. It's going to break out your skin. If you've been taking a lot of sugar, drinking a lot of soda, your skin is definitely going to break out at the time that you don't want it to break out, right? For male models, having a diet that's high in sugar, that's going to make you look a lot more bloated and plump. So your muscles are not going to be chiseled and as defined. You know, like I work out, I go to the gym, and oftentimes I take pride in like having broad shoulders and really strong biceps and all that, right? But if your diet is high in sugar, you're going to look more round and fuller and not as sculpted or chiseled as the modeling industry likes, right? Another reason why sugar is bad is your body fat. It's hard to keep a low body fat percentage, especially around your abdominal area, if your diet is high in sugar. So for these reasons, models should limit sugar as much as possible. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to avoid sugar. Personally, sometimes I get some sugar cravings. I drink a lot of juices, or, you know, maybe sometimes I'm eating pastries. But when I find myself getting, you know, almost too addicted or craving sugar, I tend to go on like a 5-day kind of reset diet where I'm eating nothing but salads, fruits and vegetables for 5 days. And that just kind of like resets my appetites, resets my cravings. And then I'm not craving sugar as much, right? So that's something that you guys can try. Now, the next thing the model should limit is carbs, right? I'm not saying don't eat carbs altogether. You can still eat carbs, but what you want to do is limit the portion, have portion control, right? When you eat carbs. So for example, I'm Nigerian. I think a lot of you guys know that. Nigerian dishes are full of carbs. We eat jollof rice, we eat white rice, we eat fufu, we eat yams, things like that. Those are all heavy in carbs. But when I'm eating carbs, I always eat a smaller portion of carbs. So for instance, the carbs that I eat could literally fit in the palm of my hands. And this should be the rule of thumb. If you're going to eat carbs, make it no bigger than the palm of your hands. That's the rule of thumb. And then everything else could be your vegetables and your fruits and whatever, right? But try to limit your carbs as much as possible. Obviously, you guys know breads, your pastries, your pizza, pasta, potatoes, fries, and even beer is high in carbs, right? So these are some of the things that subconsciously we're eating them and we don't realize like, oh damn, this is actually high in carbs and really messing up my diet, right? Why models should avoid carbs specifically? Again, it's for weight management. Weight management, overall bloating, your abdominal section, especially for male models. Male models, in a sense, are kind of athletes, right? You have to train, you have to work out, keep your body in a very lean and mean physique. And of course, this doesn't apply to all models. It depends on the category of modeling that you're into. And of course, there are some models that just have a natural high metabolism that it doesn't matter what they eat. Maybe it's because of age or just their DNA. They can eat anything and kind of get away with it, right? The next thing that models need to avoid is alcohol. In the fashion industry, you go to a show, you do a booking, there's always after parties, there's always model parties. I know I've been to those and they're a lot of fun. But oftentimes there's alcohol at those parties, right? So it's very important for models to limit their alcohol intake as much as possible because it's bad for your skin. Secondly, it's empty calories, it's empty carbs. That's just gonna make you feel bloated. It's gonna break you out, it's gonna increase your weight, etc. And it's also gonna dry out your skin when you're drinking too much alcohol. The next thing that models need to limit is your sodium intake. Now, sodium essentially is salt. Things that can be surprisingly high in sodium are soups, especially when they're canned or processed soups. Ham, bacon, any kind of processed meat will be high in sodium. Canned foods, as I said, frozen foods, sometimes even popcorn. So you always want to read the ingredient list because sometimes some of the things that you don't expect or don't even have a salty taste are actually very high in sodium, right? Again, so why you want to avoid sodium is kind of similar to sugar, right? It's going to bloat you out, right? You're going to be so bloated where, one, your muscles are not going to be defined. You're going to look heavier than you want to. Your stomach area is going to be heavier. Your face and your cheeks are going to be puffy when you need them to be chiseled. So this is kind of the reason why models should avoid sodium. All right, guys, so I just gave you guys a whole bunch of things that you guys need to limit in your diets. And again, I'm not telling you to, eat salads all day, right? Still go about your regular diets, but just be careful of your sugar intake, your sodium intake, your carbs, and alcohol, right? And then I would also encourage you to drink a lot of water, but not just drink water, eat your water, right? When I say eat your water, I mean like eat a lot of foods that are high in water content, like your fruits, vegetables. One thing that comes to mind is your citrus fruits like oranges, grapefruits, your watermelons. Those are high in water content and it's gonna make your skin glow, trust me. And then you also wanna exercise regularly, right? Because when you exercise, you're actually sweating out a lot of excess sodium, getting those toxins out, and ultimately is gonna make your skin health a lot better. And then another thing I would encourage, when you're actually drinking a lot of water, you tend to use the bathroom a lot more. Sometimes that water doesn't retain within your body, right? So it's always good to use a little bit of electrolytes in your water. That just helps your body retain the water a little bit more and keeps you hydrated. And ultimately, you're gonna see that in your skin. You're gonna see that by being less bloated. And the body kind of works in a weird way where if you're dehydrated, you're actually gonna be bloated because your body's gonna hold in as much water thinking that you're stranded in the desert or something. And that's gonna like make your face puffy, make your stomach bloated, etc. But when you are actually hydrated, then your body is releasing all the excess water that it doesn't need. Then your muscles are defined, your face, your cheekbones are chiseled, stomach looks flat, etc. right? So these are some things that you guys as models need to know about. Again, you're fashion athletes. So essentially it's very important for models to have all the tools, stay healthy, have that lifestyle to bring out their best. So that's it for this video. If you learned anything new, I appreciate a thumbs up. If you're watching for the first time, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.